Hey everybody, Whistling Tech here, out on a remodeling project in West Texas. A little dusty due to doing some drywall work, but I want to talk to you about proper height of electrical outlets for televisions. This is something that's real common. Here we are in 2019 and electricians still get it wrong. And I just want to highlight this so that you can see another reason why it's important to have somebody on your new build or remodel project that knows what they're doing when it comes to technology. So let's talk about TV height in bedrooms. In living spaces, it's a lot different than in bedrooms. In bedrooms, most of the time you're going to be reclined in bed, watching the television, and it's more comfortable to have the TV up at a much higher height than you would if you were, say, in a living room where you're sitting down and you want to be looking as straight into the TV as you can. So in bedrooms, what we normally do is try to have the height of the television be a lot higher than you would in normal living spaces. So where should you put your electrical outlet if that's the case? Let's take a look. So here we are in a bedroom. And you can see that there's an electrical outlet that's been mounted up on the wall for the purpose of powering a television that will be mounted to the wall. So there's two things to consider when it comes to outlet position relative to the television. So we already know that we want the TV up kind of high. Now the first thing is that the most common wall brackets that you'll use to mount the television will have a long plate that gets mounted crossways, and brackets will then be affixed to the television and it'll hang on the bracket. And you want the mounting plate for the TV wall mount to fall below the power outlet. And the reason for that is because typically, especially when it's up high, you'll be using a tilt bracket that will bring the television, the top of the television, a little bit away from the wall, and that'll leave some room for the TV plug that's going to stick out of the wall outlet a little bit. It also leaves a little bit of room for small cable boxes or satellite boxes or Apple TVs that you might put behind the television. If you were to have the wall bracket up above this and the bottom of the TV would be squished up against this outlet here, and the TV's plug would try to force the bottom of the TV away from the wall, and it'll prevent you from tipping it, and you might not even have enough room to do that anyhow. So you really want to have the wall bracket fall just beneath the wall receptacle. Now that puts the top of the television in a spot that will just cover the outlet. So you should imagine that the top of the TV, since the wall bracket's here, the top of the television will just cover this receptacle. So we want the receptacle, we want to think about where the top of our television will be, and the receptacle will go just beneath that. Now, how do you know where to put that in a room such as this? Well, a really popular thing to do is to pick another aspect of the room to try to line the television up with visually so that aesthetically it looks good. And the most common thing that audio video integrators will do is try to mirror the door trim. So here you can see we have a couple of doors, and something that will look good in this room is to try to make sure the top of the television lines up with that trim. It'll put it at a nice height. Everything will line up visually in the room, and you can see that the outlet has been placed in a good spot for that. The top of that outlet is just beneath the level of the trim, which will allow the TV to hide the outlet. Okay, so now here we are in what is the master bedroom, the first room I started in, and take a look at where that wall outlet, that receptacle, is going to fall relative to the trim on the windows, which is what, in this case, we'd probably be aiming to mirror. Now that height, the height of that outlet, as I'm standing next to it, see if you can tell, I don't have my selfie camera on. But it's about as tall as me. I'm about 6 foot. Really, that outlet needs to be up higher, because what's going to happen is if I try to hang the TV in a way that will mimic or match the height of that trim, my bracket is going to need to fall way up here. And you can see where that wall outlet was supposed to be. It should have been up higher to match that. So in this case, when the integrator or the homeowner goes to mount this television, they're either going to have to mount it a lot lower than they wanted to, or they're going to have to fight with the TV's cord getting squished, basically, and forcing the bottom of the television out. And there may not even be enough room. He'll probably have to stand the bracket way off the wall. So thankfully, I'm here, so I caught the problem, and there's still plenty of drywall work to do, so we're going to get that fixed. So remember, in a bedroom, you want the TV mounted higher than normal. Pick trim such as window or door trim to match the top of the television up with, so that everything lines up nicely visually in the room. And place your wall outlet just beneath the level of that trim, just below where you want the top of your TV to go. And if you do that, you'll have plenty of room to plug in your television, and the TV will still hide the receptacle so everything looks clean. Thanks for watching.